Hello there guys, it's AvidExpert here today, and I'm going to be talking about some of my personal thoughts on Capcom, how things have evolved over the years, and some of the things that I've learned, because honestly, I'm a bit amazed at some of the things that are happening with Capcom, how things are developed, how they handle their systems, and some of this is very archaic and just incompetent, to be honest. I think that's the only word to really use to imply and get across just what kind of Capcom is doing. So let's get across some of these things. Capcom lately got leaked, and it was a huge, massive leak in which they got an entire database breach. Like, everything was taken, hundreds of thousands of items, including personal email addresses, phone numbers, your house address, all this really intense, amazing stuff that nobody really wants to see out there on the internet, because the implications of such information being out there could be quite damaging. It could be dangerous. There's some people who are obsessed, for example, with individuals like voice actors, and for those addresses to be online is not a good thing, because then devout fans who have kind of a weird psychological perception behind them might do something dangerous, as I said, with these actors, such as visiting their houses, etc. And anyone who has kind of kept up to date with YouTube, with actors, etc. in the last 10 years will know it's actually quite common for individuals who have fame to have fans and other creepy people kind of just turning outside of their house out of the blue. One of the recent examples I can think of was when Keemstar had somebody stalking his children at school, which is like, wow, imagine that. Imagine being called and being told there's a stranger stalking your child because you have a YouTube and you're famous. So, as you can imagine, having your personal address leaked is very unacceptable. But then, what about when you learn the fact that Capcom literally had no cybersecurity team, cybersecurity suite, or even an antivirus installed on their base central systems, meaning that anybody could have accessed them? But it gets even better than that. Almost anybody had access to their central database, and they had no way of tracking who was doing anything with it. I actually have files sent to me by Capcom's central database, of which Capcom will never, ever be able to track that person who did that individual thing down. And that person could have leaked everything. They could have given me, entire games, demos, builds, etc. that will never be seen to the public. I've received some of these actually, and all it required, and I had a conversation with this person, was one person like me sends him a file that he obviously clicks, and I trick him into it, say for example, and it's actually a ransomware or a virus of some sort, and then Capcom systems are infected. Now, when I asked him, is that actually true? Because that seems really like, it can't be true, right? He said, yeah, it is true. Like, that's how we do it here. And that's just for in Osaka, by the way. I genuinely don't know if that's how they do it in the US and Europe, but at least in Osaka, which is their headquarters, their main headquarters, that is the company policy, just to be as lazy as possible when it comes to security. And that's just not cybersecurity, but physical security for their staff, etc. as well. But that's a whole nother video. So, what is the point of this video? Are we just going to randomly bash and just keep shit talking Capcom like madmen the entire video? No, we need to get some attention out there because things need to change. Now, of course, after the recent issue, Capcom is going to get their shit together just a little bit more than usual. They might actually hire a cybersecurity team and get things rolling. But I definitely believe that people need to know they do lack security. And overall, not having an antivirus on your systems is unacceptable. The only reasoning is that A, either you can't be bothered to do it, or B, you can't be bothered investing the money into it. But if it was B, really truly was about money, look at how much you've just messed up and how much money you've just lost from this security breach, and how much money you're now going to have to invest as well as lost due to the fact that you need to get your shit together very quickly. Now, this is important, especially because it's not just about spoilers on games anymore, which I think are, ethically okay, to be honest. Like, you got spoiled on a game, get over it, to be honest. When you compare it to, like, voice actors and employees' addresses being leaked, etc. Now, that's when things get actually serious. And then, you have fans who are on the ambassador program having their address leaked, etc. That's also unacceptable. So we need to make sure that Capcom protects data a little bit more now, and overall all types of data, including even the most what they would consider mundane and useless information. But yeah, during my foray, or my journey with Capcom, I've learned a lot of interesting things from my inside sources, and a lot of this stuff has just kind of shocked me. I obviously kept myself private with the information that Capcom had no security digitally, because that could have obviously been used for malicious purposes, but at this point it already was. So the only thing revealing it now may do is, change the fact that there is none, and another group won't do this possibly. I hope you guys do agree with this. It's kind of amazing Capcom had no protection in place beforehand. Now, if anyone is new to the channel and you are skeptical of these claims, just ask anyone who is a long-time viewer. I have leaked a lot of content on Capcom and have been DMCA'd out of the ass, but this is not a Digital Millennium Copyright Act problem. This would come under defamation. And of course, this video will remain up even though Capcom reviews it, and nothing will happen to me because they know all of the claims made in this video are accurate. So that will lead you with the conclusion of what the actual living fuck, a billion-dollar corporation, a little bit of hyperbole there, having no cybersecurity. Interesting, even though a 12-year-old on a laptop, the first thing they do is get an antivirus. Now, I've talked to quite a few employees now that have been directly impacted by this, and I'll just say that nobody is happy. Everyone is quite pissed, to put it bluntly, and rightfully so, obviously. They're also quite worried, and as I said, it is a dangerous situation. At this point, you gotta think somebody might appear at my house if you've got some influence and fame behind you and your address was just leaked. However, one of the most interesting parts about this is Capcom is being slow to respond to employees' inquiries as to whether they've been affected, with this taking weeks and weeks to answer at this point, which is atrocious. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about this below. It's an interesting one. I want to know your thoughts. I want to know what you guys concluded about this and what you guys think needs to improve. I hope you're having a beautiful day. As always, take it easy and peace.